actual chakras that we'll be learning. So you have an opportunity then to actually hear my voice and learn the Sanskrit if you want to bring these invocations into your daily practice. That, and of course the main purpose, which is to introduce us to the goddesses of the chakra petals by name. And for those of you that took the Universal Mother Chakra course a few years ago, that this link in your outline leads to, this is somewhat repetitive, but I think it's good to get a real sense of who these goddesses are on an emotional, feeling, heart basis. And I want to invite everybody to go beyond even my idea of what these goddesses represent and to really feel what they mean to you, as we have to sort of clip through fairly quickly. And we'll begin with bowing to Muladhara Chakra as that dual center that represents the birth of Kundalini from the crown of the head, and here in this case, from the base of the spine. And of course, as always, we bow to Om Ganapati, Om Ganesha, in whatever variation. Here, Om Gam Ganapatiye Namaha. So let's take a breath in, let out one round of the serpent sound. Om Gam Ganapate Namaha, Muladhare Chaturdale Vang Shang Shang Sang Bijatmane Namaha. Om, I bow to Ganapati, or Ganesha, as the syllable Gang. I bow to the self, my truest self, manifesting through the powers or seed syllables found on the 4 petals of the root lotus center. Here, Muladhara, Adhara, same thing. And who are these goddesses? The Maatrikaas here are so beautiful. The 4 Anandas, the 4 bliss goddesses. Now these represent the 4 corners of the birth of Kundalini, which represents the square on the crown of the head. The bliss of pure expanded Shiva consciousness now is polarized and inflected at the other end of the whole microcosmic spectrum. So where the space element and beyond is represented above the crown of the head, that my awareness, once I pierce through these knots at the third eye and the skull door, I experience this incredible expansion of consciousness that Kshamaraja, Gopi Krishna, and Yogananda talked about through their personal experiences and testimony, 1,000 years apart, same experience as we learned in last month's session. Well, that feeling of Paramananda, great bliss, supreme bliss, Virananda, Yogananda, Ananda, all of these experiences of bliss refer to that state of absolute joy which goes beyond anything that's temporal here in the body, and yet it is inflected in the basest, lowest level of the body. Muladhara represents earth, right? And so this is the grossest, densest, and let's say least subtle aspect of consciousness. When we over-identify, for example, with just the physical flesh and the physical world, we experience the pain of duality. So the tantrics, of course, know all too well what suffering is all about. And in the same sense, in the subtle body, the elements, of course, become increasingly denser. One projects out of the next, right? So from beyond space to space, Naha to air, Manipura fire, Swadhisthana water, and then Muladhara is earth. In the same sense, we would expect that powers that are at the lower Muladhara, this is my point, would be crass powers, powers of delusion, powers perhaps the Shaktis that keep us deluded that we're just the body and we're going to suffer and die, as of course many people are afflicted with that consciousness. But no, we see the inundation from Lahiri's image of nectar forming the Anandas of the universe, now manifested as these affirmative goddesses that are at the very base of your existence, elementally and physically, in terms of the lateral positioning of the Sushumna Nadi. How beautiful is that? Vang is she who is bliss. Ananda. Shang is she who is the bliss of union. Yogananda. Shang, she who is a hero's bliss, or the bliss of courage in life. Virananda. And then she who is the ultimate power of Shiva, the syllable Sang. Shri. Paramananda, the supreme bliss of Shri, of absolute auspiciousness. Here we can see yet another variation. I have so many chakra images and scrolls. This is a Nepalese image where the shape takes precedence over the look of a lotus, right? So we see the petals, the lotus is here, but the shape in this system is outside. And I kind of like that because all chakras, or sorry, all tantras teach us the same shapes for the chakras, beginning with the square for Muladhara, always colored gold or yellow. And so I think it's good to keep consistent, whereas the chakra scrolls from Kashmir, etc., which give the same chakra system but different texts, take more license with innovation in the way they're depicted. But this is really classic and standard. Swastikas are thunderbolts at the four corners, for example, vajras rather. Swadhisthana, we invoke. Om Swadhisthana Shardala Chakraya Namaha Bang Bhang Mang Yang Rang Rang Bijatmane Namaha. Om, I bow to Swadhisthana, her favorite location, to that lotus center of 6 petals. I bow to that self as the powers or seed syllables of Bhang Bhang Mang Yang Rang and Lang. So let's meet these lovely ladies. Here, looking at